What's up, Glitch Squad? Welcome back. I've got a new video for you today, and what I wanted to do is take some time to walk you through on how I clean up a PC. I'm going to show you the one that I just purchased off Marketplace. Got a pretty good deal on it. I want to walk you through some things on, number one, what it looks like to take it apart, some of the key components, and then also just some of the tips and tricks as you go along, how to clean it up, make sure it looks good. I'll show you some before and after photos towards the end, really kind of make sure that you understand how important it is that you don't spend a lot of time or a lot of money involved in flipping this PC, right? That's the whole point, is just picking it up, a little bit of time here cleaning it up, and then after that, we're gonna relist this bad boy and try to make a profit off of it. Right now, there's a lot of opportunity out there for you guys to beat inflation. I know a lot of things are going on. We may even be getting a stimulus check. That's in some news right now. It's kind of weird, but nonetheless, I want to show you that for just under $300 or $400, you can pick up a PC off Marketplace and then clean this bad boy up. So today I'm going to spend some time with you, walking you through step by step. We're going to disassemble this PC, and I'm really going to walk you through every bit of the aspect of how I clean up a PC and get it ready to put back together in order to flip this PC. Join me. If you like this content, subscribe. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and we're gonna jump right into the video. Here we go. All right, here we are jumping into the disassembly of this PC. Case is in pretty good shape. It's not doing too bad. Like I said, I got this for a decent deal, under $600, not too bad at all. Ryzen 5 7600 chip. It's a few years old, but still it's part of the new AM, it's the newer series CPUs, which is nice. DDR5 coming out of this, 32 gigs of RAM, which is pretty simple, for that, but that's a good setup. And then the RX 5700 XT, not the most powerful GPU in there, but still, this thing can definitely handle some, decent gaming at 1080p, even some streaming capabilities and stuff like that. Anybody want to get into Fortnite, they're doing Minecraft, Roblox, this thing will definitely do it pretty healthy. So we're going to take it apart right now. Like I said, it's fairly dirty. Looks like it definitely needs a good dusting on there. So we'll take this off and we're going to jump in. First thing I always do is I do a complete disassembly of the PC. This allows me to really kind of understand what I'm looking at. If there's any parts that need to be repaired, I don't do repairs. So if there's any parts that need to be repaired, I replace them. I've got a lot of spare parts. I've got tons of fans. You do this long enough, you're gonna have a whole storage bin full of all sorts of, parts, fans, extra RAM sticks, cables galore, for the power supply. Even the motherboard has got some extra components on there, those little batteries, to hold the memory on there. So anyways, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna dive in. Like I said, the first thing I do is I just start unplugging everything. This might be factory, but the cable management's not great on this guy. Not looking too good there. I'm also noticing, this might not be. Somebody was messing with this. So number one, we're missing a couple of these little, I don't even know what you call it, just inserts, but they're kind of drilled and they block, right? You don't want too much air and dust getting in there. Yes, you want flow air, but you don't want that much space that just allows anything to get in there. On top of that, I can see there's already a couple of Phillips head screws to hold the motherboard to the case. Those are missing. There's a few up there, but I see some missing ones. And then cable management on this isn't the greatest either. So when I put PCs back together, you're gonna see how this looks now. Like, we're gonna make it look really nice, clean it up, make it look presentable, because a lot of people, that's what they do. They have this on their desk. They've got it on display right next to their monitor. And they want it looking good. They don't want it looking like this. The other thing too is, if people are buying this for a gift, either for a kid or a loved one, what you're going to find out is it's kind of the same thing. Like, they want it looking good, they want it clean. There we go. So yeah, just curb appeal. I always say that curb appeal on these can go a long way for sure. Let's take the graphics card out. Everything out of this. Changed it a little bit. There is not a fan on the top. You don't have to have one up there. Usually 2 to 3 fans on these are okay, but I will say I may end up adding one more up there. Maybe even an RGB fan up there. Give it some color. That'll help it sell quite a bit. So we'll unplug the CPU power cable. And those aren't really screwed in. They're just kind of pressed in. Got the RAM sticks. Okay. Now, a lot of times when you buy a PC off Marketplace, yeah, you're not going to have time to disassemble the whole thing and make sure everything is what they said it was. Yeah, I've been scammed a couple times, unfortunately, right? I got home and turns out that, you know, the Ryzen 7 chip that they told me was in there ended up being a Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 3 chip. So sometimes it is worth doing your due diligence for. You know, one of the big things that I looked at was, I know what DDR5, you know, RAM looks like. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's definitely DDR5. Also, I knew right away, it even said it on the motherboard as well, right, that it supports DDR5. Also, the B650 series are for the newer Ryzen chips. So that also, again, kind of gave me a good indicator that, yep, this is going to be the newer Ryzen 5 processor versus like a Ryzen 5 3600 or whatever that required the B550 or even the B450 motherboard. So let's take the RAM sticks out. This is some pretty solid RAM, to be honest with you. So DDR5, 6000 speed, pretty good, right? And it's G-Skill, so that's a good set of RAM right there. We'll unplug our USB cord, and then our very large motherboard power supply cable here. These are always a pain. You gotta pinch and pull and kind of shimmy at the same time. A little hard. I'm sure they probably make a tool to get this out with, but yeah, no, we're trying to make money. We're not trying to. Gotta beat that inflation. I don't want to pay $20 for that tool. All right. Pull out the graphics card. Put that on the pin. Pull out. Okay, there's our graphics card. So not too bad. It is dusty, right? I'm not going to take this thing apart, but it looks pretty healthy. Just a little bit of dust. And then right there's our tag. 5700 XT Gaming OC, so overclocked edition, which is nice. It has increased some of the clock speeds on here to help it perform just a little bit better than a standard 5700 XT. All the fins look good. I'm looking it over here. I'll show you guys what I'm looking for. Gigabyte makes pretty good graphics cards. They're a good brand. So yeah. And then I'm also inspecting the display ports. Like, I don't see anything broken in there. That looks good. HDMI port looks good. Also too, what you're gonna be looking for, let me get that glare off there for you guys. If you're ever looking and you see some like burn marks, you see some like dark brown, even like a black soot almost on here, that's gonna be an indication that maybe that graphics card was run a little too hard, overheating, putting out a lot of heat. I've only seen it maybe twice. Over many years of doing this. I don't run into that often on gaming PCs, but the few that I did, they were big graphics cards and they were tucked into a very small case with minimal cooling. So it was almost like it couldn't cool itself off. There was just too much heat compressed into one small area and not enough fans, not enough cooling going on. So all right, looks like we've got everything unplugged there. Let's go ahead and find the screwdriver again. I'm going to undo the motherboard. Out. I think I said this in the other video, guys, but I'm telling you, I'm a car guy, and I can tell you that most of my Hondas and my Nissans, give me 3 tools, I could probably disassemble the whole interior. It's very same thing when it comes to computers. There's only a few specific tools you need to disassemble this entire thing. Phillips head screwdriver is probably 95% of it. You know, maybe you need a smaller one. You'll notice we will need one much smaller here to get your M.2 drive out. That's about it. Everything else is a standard Phillips head screwdriver. We don't need any special tools for the CPU or for the paste. We just need some new paste. Here's a tip on your CPU and on your fan. If you guys don't know this already, obviously they say when you're installing the CPU and fan, you're compressing your CPU chip and the other side of your cooling surface together, squishing them together, and in between is the paste. What you want to do is make sure that you're balancing them out as you're tightening down, but I would also suggest doing the exact same thing when you're undoing it. So as we loosen this up, you see I'm always going to do opposite corners. So there's one, and I'm going to come over here. What this does is, as you're installing and uninstalling, it prevents it from flipping from one side to the other and either pancaking and squishing it out to one side. It really kind of gets at that flush surface all around on four corners. So you always want to try to do opposite corners as you're undoing and tightening up. So see, now we're down to one left and it's only popped up on that side versus front to back. Almost done here. Now, again, I haven't even plugged this in. I haven't tested software. I haven't checked anything. What I'm looking for, number one, is, yep, so there's our new AM5 chip, okay? The biggest thing that I'm really looking for is I really want to make sure that this computer and this chip is exactly what I paid for. So I paid for a Ryzen 5 7600. Let's hope that's what we got. Lysol wipes. Like I said this before for you guys, these Lysol wipes, these are your best friend. They are very safe to use on computer components. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you need to drench it, right? I'll show you what I do. Yes, number one, I use the little wringer, pulls out like that. But even as I grab it, kind of squeeze it, and it grips the rest of it in there. So you should be able to shake it off and not have anything come flying off. But the chemical, the liquid that's in this, it's not a lot of water. It's a lot of actually cleaning solution. And that really helps when you're trying to wipe away, especially thermal paste. So look at that, just one wipe. And this thing is almost already clear. All I'm trying to do right now, I'm not worried about it getting it super clean. All I'm doing right now is I want to see Ryzen 5 7600. That's what I paid for. There we go. And again, if you're not sure, if you're just starting out, hey, look, ask the person to plug it in and test it. Or maybe you bring your own, power inverter, power cable, all the good stuff, and you can test it, your monitor and everything like that. You can test and make sure that's what you got. But generally, I've been doing this long enough, I can kind of tell, I know what I'm looking for. So in the end, good spot on that there. Yep, so that's what I'm looking for. AMD Ryzen 5 7600. That's the new AM5 chip. Be careful on the back side. Do not put your fingers on that. Any kind of oil, dirt, dust will prevent connection as you reinsert it, but really kind of keep your fingers off the side. We'll clean this up a little bit more. We'll get a lot of that paste off there so we can repaste. Probably even put a bigger fan on that. These standard fans are not very big. Let's put that off to the side here. We're gonna move our cooling fan. All right, perfect. Close that back up for now. We don't need that. Get all the screws out. Oh, we got one more in the middle. I missed one there. Okay. And then as you're undoing this too, again, take a look at the motherboard. Obviously somebody was in here messing with it because it was missing a lot of screws. So one of the things I'm going to be looking for as I take this out is, are there any bent pins, broken pins? It looks a little dirty in here, but it doesn't look that bad. See, it's dusty. That's just dust. It's like, is that? I was wondering if that was thermal paste or not. It's just dusty. Got all that cleared off. So there's our AM5 motherboard. We'll definitely clean it up a little bit more. We're going to take out this drive here on the back side. This is the IO sheet. This one's built in. Same thing. I'm looking to make sure the ports are clean and not broken. Obviously, you're not going to utilize your display ports, HDMI ports on the motherboard itself. Specifically for the gaming ones, you're almost always going to use the ones that are down here. You've got two of your PCIe slots, 4 graphics cards or any other PCI devices. It's also got 2 M.2 drives, actually 3 M.2 drives. There's another one there for your Wi-Fi card if you have. We can always install a small one there. To be honest with you guys, if it doesn't come with built-in Bluetooth Wi-Fi, I'll show you a trick. What I end up doing is, I think, exactly what this person actually had on here. I'll pop this out here. Yep, check it out. So Bluetooth right there. So they got their own Bluetooth and TP-Link, so that could be a dual one. So that might be Bluetooth and Wi-Fi right there, which is exactly what you want to do if you don't have built-in Bluetooth Wi-Fi. You can simply add it. This guy right here, I think I paid $10 for him on Amazon. So any PC can have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, no problem. Just need to get that little chip and you can add it. All right, let me move this out of the way. Safely store the motherboard over there. Let me get this glass case out of the way. I'm gonna start moving this thing around. Man, I wish I had a bigger desk. But like I said, I don't spend money. I'm not trying to spend money on all this. I'm trying to make money. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and pop off the back case too. Oops, probably too close to the camera. Sorry about that. All right, so there's one. Here, we'll just flip it upside down. Here's one. Here's two. Pop that cord fence. Move that out of the way so we get a clean look. There we go. The other thing too is take a look at these screws. These are not case back screws. Those do not normally come holding in the back of the case of a PC or the front of the case, period. So they're usually the little thumb ones like this, that you can much easier take out versus have to break out your screwdriver each time. So yeah, somebody was definitely in here messing with it. No big deal, just means that somebody was doing modifications to it, updates, or maybe they were trying to figure out how to work on it, but nonetheless, we've got it. Ooh, I like to see that. Okay, that's another good right here. So if you guys know anything about computers, maybe you don't, let me help you out just a little bit. 750 watt power supply. These are not inexpensive, especially from Corsair. If you were to look this up, I'm going to say a Corsair power supply for 750. Yes, it's E-rated, but still, these are probably 60, 70, maybe $80. So the fact that this came with this, that setup is pretty decent. Generally on these, I find like 400 watt, 500 watt. Somebody's trying to do really minimal work when it comes to putting in a power supply. It's modular, so it does have each cable has its own plug. So you only have to install back here the cables that are necessary. We're gonna undo all of this. Let's go ahead and remove our power supply too. All right. One, two. Once you get the entire PC disassembled, that's when we're going to start really kind of working on cleaning it up. And like I said, you don't want to spend a ton of time on this PC. Remember, the whole point of this is you want to make a profit. And I don't know anybody that has all the time in the world, right? So if you're like me and you've already got a full-time job, this is something that you're doing on the side. This is something that you're doing, in the evening time or really early in the morning before you go to your work, before you go to your regular job. This is your side hustle. This is how you make that money on the side. Make up that extra 3% inflation that they got going on, which I'll be honest, this feels like a lot more than 3%. Eggs right now, like what are they, $20? $20 for an egg? Anyways, all right, I'm gonna take apart all these cables. Let's just go ahead and unplug everything. I'll show you this here. Power supply is pretty dusty. Bottom of the PC was missing the dust shield. So like I said, we'll go ahead and clean that up. Again, I'm not going to disassemble anything. We're just going to clean it up and try to remove as much dust as possible. All right. So there's that. We've got all these spare cables now that are coming out of it. Put those back here for now. So this one did have a spare SSD in it as well. I don't think he advertised for that or told me about that, so that's nice. Oh, it's another 1000 gig. All right. Here's another pro tip. Check it out. When you sell PCs to somebody else, generally 1 gigabyte is what most PCs come with. Even the computers that are found at Best Buy or online. They usually come with a 500 gig storage drive or a 1000 gig storage drive. So here's what I'm going to tell you, and here's what I'm going to do in this situation. This is a really nice 1000 gig SSD. Instead of trying to sell this computer with 2 drives at 1000 gigs each, I'm now going to set this aside, and this could technically be the start of my new spare parts build. And what I mean by that is, as I accumulate more and more computers and I do these builds, piece by piece, each time I eventually find spare components where I don't necessarily have to include that in the rebuild in order to sell the PC for the money that I'm looking for. So in this one, I've got a really nice SSD that I'm going to put to the side. And guess what? From another computer, I've got another 16 gigs worth of RAM. I've got 2 sticks, 8 gigs each, that I can now pair with this. And I'm on my way to a whole nother PC that didn't cost me anything, right? When you talk about PCs, how many components are there? You've got your case, your power supply, your graphics card, your motherboard, your CPU, your GPU. That's about it, right? So if you've got 2 components right there that you've taken from other PCs that didn't necessarily need it, you're well on your way to having a whole nother PC built out of those for no cost out of your pocket, and maybe you sell it for $300 or $400, right? But it's a good start. So just a little trick that I would share with you guys when it comes to that. If you find anything like that spare, look, get PCs to have 500 gigs, maybe 1,000. That's all you need. You don't need much more than that. And like I said, when you're selling these, you're not selling them for thousands of dollars, right? You're selling them for under $1,000, maybe even $500 or $600. So when you advertise it with 500 gigs or 1,000 gigs, you're good to go. What you could do, and this is something I have had happen, somebody will ask me like, oh, well, I'm looking for a computer with more storage, or is there any chance you can add more? Absolutely you can. Maybe you throw another 50 bucks on there. Say, you know what, for 50 bucks more, 40 bucks more, I can add that on there. So I've even done that a couple times, right? Where I'll make an extra 50 just real quick, just off adding that in there and saying, sure, I can add that in. I'll show you guys in another video how we format those, clean them up, clear them up, make sure that there's no issues with them. But I really like that. That's like a diamond right there that you find when you have extra parts coming from a PC that you didn't intend to have. Hope you guys like this content. Hope you like the tips and tricks. Hey, put something in the comments down below. If you've got some really cool tips or tricks that you've found from flipping PCs, or maybe you built a couple, and there's some ideas that you have on things that you could do to save money a little bit or help with the flips. Well, put them in the comments. I'd be curious to see. All right, what do we got left here? Looks like we have, so all these cables, these are our case cables, right? So that's perfect, that looks good. So that one's probably for our fans. That one's for the fans, yep. So there's our control panel cables, our USB cable, our HD audio cable. And as you do this often enough, I mean, they're all the same. You're always gonna have these cables here, which are your control panel cables. Usually your power switch, reset switch, HD plug, and HD lights. You're gonna have your HD audio cable. It's almost always the same, looks just like that, and it always is really long. Gives you enough room to go all the way to the bottom left corner of the motherboard. And then you've got your USB port plugs. This is for your USBs that are gonna be on the top of your PC or on the front. So there's your HD audio, your USB. Yep, this one looks like it's either got a reset switch or maybe even the LED switch if you've got LED fans in there or RGB fans. Overall, this is looking pretty good. Okay. Let's go ahead and rip this front case off here. Most of the front cases, you just yank on the bottom, everything comes apart. Pretty simple. There's that. We'll clean that up a little bit, give that a good show. Good. All right, I think that's about it. No, we got our fans. Let's take our fans. Let's do that. Let's move this power supply out of the way. Fans are always just these 4 screws. Now these are going to be a little different. These are very specific 4 fans. What you're going to see is, so you've got your standard, Phillips head screw, and then you've got these. They're really thick, and they've got a much thicker thread on them for threading into the plastic on these fans. It really helps hold them in place. It also helps with vibration. So keep that in mind as you're building. You know, some people, like I said, I've found some of these PCs, man, they're they're zip tied in. Zip ties don't work very well. I mean, they can temporarily work, but if you want good performance, if you want good, you know, low sound and no vibration, I would definitely recommend using the right screws for the right job. Now, off the top of my head, I'm looking at this. So here's one of the fans, okay? Plenty of dust in there. Clearly, we're going to clean that up. It's got 4 cables coming out, which means it's going to have some extra controls that can be done through the software, through the CPU and motherboard. So you've got some extra, I think it's just extra things that you can do, like control the speed of it. This one does not have RGB. I don't think any of these fans have RGB on there. Generally, your RGB fans you're going to notice because there will be tiny little LED lights either around the ring, or they'll be on the inside here, but you're going to have white or clear blades and a plastic fan. So since this is solid black, I can tell immediately this is not RGB. In this particular build, I don't know if I'm going to do RGB fans in here. I may do one at the top just to give it some shine or some glow. One of the tricks that you can do is as you're doing your build, so let's build that again real quick. Cool. Okay, so this is the top of your PC case. This is the bottom. Your motherboard lays out here. Your graphics card goes right here. If you're going to do an RGB fan, your best spot to do it at, if you have one or if you're going to put something in here, the best place to do it at is honestly right here at the top, because the lights shine down and get just about everything in here. If you put one down here and your graphics card is here, it's going to block, right, a lot of the light coming up this way. Now, you can always do it on the back here going this way, but generally, you know, if you have it here, it's gonna shine off all 3 of these sides. This one here is almost too close. You're not going to get as much light reflected off of it. So just a trick there, little tip for you. If you're going to put RGB in here, definitely do it that way. Put it at the top. You're going to get the most shine. All right. All right. We've got. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, okay. These fans, I'm noticing too. Look at the fans. Do they look the same? This is how I know that somebody messed with this, and maybe this was a custom build. I'm not sure. You know, maybe somebody did like a PC part picker or something like that, and they were looking for their own way to design their PC. But yeah, no problem. Doesn't mean anything. You know, bad. You can have mismatching fans. It's more of a uniformity. It looks better. You know, it's you know, the human eye is drawn and attracted to equality and equal in terms of, you know, visual appeal. So I have several other fans. I don't know. I'm gonna take a look. If I've got 3 matching fans, or maybe I've got 2, maybe I've got these 2. I might leave those up front, and then I've got 2 others. Since these are up front and you can't really see these, if I've got 2 RGB fans, I may put those on the back side, one on the back, one on the top, just to give it a better look from the back side. But these fans are okay up front because they're pretty hidden, especially by that front plate, and then even on the back, you're really not looking at it. So there it is, guys. Remember what I told you? Phillips head screwdriver. It's about all it took to take this whole thing apart. So cases are pretty lightweight for the most part. All of the stands look good. I don't see anything broken in there. All of the plugs, I just see a lot of dust. There's just a lot of dust out here. So that's it. So now we're going to clean this up. Still have that same rag. Here's what I was talking about earlier with those Lysol wipes, right? Check this out. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, right? Is with the Lysol wipes, they have very minimal water in it. I mean, I'm sure they do have water. There is liquid, H2O, but in terms of sticking, this also collects these little pads, the Lysol pads, Lysol wipes. It's almost like they're made of cotton, I believe, but they're really very absorbent. So as you see, look at this. I'm going on this back screen here, this back grill for the fan. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's like picking up a lot of dirt and grime. So two things: the solution in the Lysol wipes, or in these wipes, I guess they're not Lysol. They're great value. They're off-brand, but so the solution itself does a great job of collecting the dust, and then the wipe itself, because it's cotton, also does a really good job of holding on to it. So now we have a much cleaner workspace in there. And I'm telling you, when your case is clean, especially these black ones, man, it helps sell so much better. It's just like a car, right? You can buy a used car from somebody, but if they haven't washed it, if they have their books from school still in the back seat, there's dirty diapers, whatever's in there, it's a turnoff. It just doesn't make you want to buy that vehicle. Because, first of all, that's gross. Second of all, it gives off the impression that you're not taking care of it, that you didn't take it. So, you go through and take your time, clean the PC, get it all dusted, get all this stuff and all this crud out of here, and then you put it back together. No, you didn't have the PC for very long. You had it for maybe a couple days, right, while you cleaned it up and tried to sell it. But in the end, it gives off the appearance that you took care of it. And it starts with everything, right? Every aspect. All these grills, little spot there. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is a used PC case. But we're just trying to get as much dust as possible out of there. That one's pretty dirty. It's also really dried out. Yeah, I can keep going with it. I usually try to keep them, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, that one's dried out. Okay, I'm gonna switch to another one because I want to be able to get this down, bottom side down here. I want to get that side down there. But it's easier to do when you have a wipe that's got some. Like I said, it's always, you can hear that liquid. I always try to wring it out as much as possible. Wring it out, squeeze it, give it a good squeeze before you do, and then you can see like it's not coming off on there at all. Like there's nothing on there. So this, every corner, right? Every corner if you can. You're doing just exactly what a used car dealership would do. I know you're probably not a good analogy. You're like, I don't want to be compared to a used car dealer. But look, they clean them up, clean those cars up, right? They buy them used. Somebody didn't take care of it. Somebody didn't put in the time to make sure that it was taken care of and looked clean. That's what you're doing. You're putting some time into it, making it look clean, making it look like it was taken care of. And you get all that dust out. I'm telling you, it will make a difference. When you go to turn it on, take some pictures and videos, or you go to sell it to somebody and they get up close and personal because they might want to, right? They're going to want you to take that glass off, take the case off so they can kind of see what's going on. They see all that dust in there. It looks like it just wasn't taken care of. So this is you kind of wiping away all of the unnecessary conversations about, oh, why is it so dirty? How long have you had it? Did you take care of it? In the end, you can be honest. I am. I tell them that I just bought it, I cleaned it up a little bit, and I'm just selling it. So no, I don't have the history on it, but take a look at it. It looks clean. Oh yeah, that's the worst right now. Watch this. Watch one white. Right there. Yep, all that fan dust gone through the power supply. All the way down there, back side. Now, some of these spots are going to be a little hidden, right? Because once you put the power supply back in and all the cables go in there, you're not going to have that much stuff. So, and also even the bottom, just to help the last little bit of dust hanging out. But the other reason why I love these Lysol wipes, so Now look at my workspace, right? I mean, it's not terrible, but look at all that. I mean, it picked up a little bit, but man, these things really collect the dust as you're working around. It really prevents you from getting that dust all over your workstation. Obviously, it's going to get on there a little bit because as you're taking components out and parts, it's going to get on there. All right. Looks good. All right. Case looks good. All right, case is done. Motherboard time. Here we go. All right. Let's see how this thing looks. This thing's looking good. So, yep. See a little bit of dust on there. Not too much effort on that there. Okay, that's fine. I'm not even going to take the M.2 drive out. That's what I was saying before, that little spot there. It's a very small Phillips head. You might want to get out of there. I'm not going to take the time to take it out. It looks fine. All the pins look good. All the switches. Okay. Everything's functioning. Yep. Okay. That looks good. Yep. It's closed open. Okay. That looks good. Oh, there we go. So there's a little bit of spot, some space up here. So that's where the dust kind of settles. Usually the dust settles on the top of, platforms. So anything from the top where you're taking a peek at it, that's where the dust is going to be. The other thing too, with dusting, it's not just about making it look good. The more dust you have in here, the more your computer has to work to keep it cool, right? It can keep cool without all that crap taken out on there. So, all right, that's really good. That's good there. All right, I'm not gonna worry about putting the CPU back in just yet. We'll leave that there. All right, let's take a look at this graphics card. I'm gonna get a new wipe, and you're gonna go through a lot of wipes. You need to invest in these wipes for sure. I go through quite a few, but they do amazing at cleaning this up. You'll see by the time I'm done. I'm gonna take some pictures. You guys will be kind of shocked and blown away at just how much a little bit of dusting, some cable management, and the right angles and pictures can do this thing justice for sure. All right. See, I'm not getting all up into the power slots there where your power supplies plug in. I'm not even going to run it across the terminal here, the PCI terminal. Right, maybe underneath a little bit, like in here. I'm not going to run it across those. I'm not trying to get them all soaking wet. Anything like that. Biggest thing on the graphics cards, honestly, is the fan. That's going to be the part that spend some time with. So stick it in here. You kind of go around the edge. Yep, that's a little bit there. Okay, now fan blades are the hardest because they're so small sometimes. Just get in there. In the end, it's worth just kind of getting in there, clean it up a little bit. No, people don't always see the fan blades from the CPU on the bottom, especially when you've got a mid-size case or a smaller case because it's probably covered by the bottom. But look at the difference, right? So there's that one you can even see, even with the glare on it. Look at the difference between that and that, right? It really kind of shows, or at least gives off the impression that somebody cared a little bit about this and took care of it. You're not trying to lie. You're not trying to create a lie. You just want them to. You just want to give off the appearance that it was taken care of. Yep, let's switch around a little bit like that. These fan blades are pretty resilient. They be spun around quite a bit. I know somebody's probably in the comment right now saying I'm being too rough with these blades. They can handle it. They can handle it. I have broken a few, not many. Generally, it's because I had the PC turned on and I was in there messing around with something else, and my finger got caught on it, or a screwdriver or something, and it was spinning so fast that one of the blades came off. But I don't think I've ever messed up an actual fan on it. So, yep. All right, last one. Remember, you're not rebuilding this thing. You're not rebuilding the GPU. You're not taking it completely apart. The manufacturer put it together. They knew what they were doing. All you're doing is cleaning it up, trying to make it look presentable. getting ready for its date. Got a nice meeting with the PC motherboard here in just a little bit. That's kind of weird. I don't know why I said that. All right. That's good. Good. Not too bad. Sticker can stay down there. Okay. Yep. That. All right. Power supply. One white. One white. Not too bad at all. Okay. Come back in here and kind of do like this. Just trying to get all that dust collected. Somebody, maybe somebody's really picky and they want to, hey, open it up. Let me see the front, the back, the inside. Pop the hood, right? Like pop the hood. Let me see what's going on. No problem. No problem at all. PCs are expected to have a little bit of dust, but if you can make it look like it hasn't had much at all, or it hasn't had a hard life, you're going to have a lot better time, a lot more success trying to resell that PC. All right, RAM sticks, they look pretty clean. Do that there. Black, you can give it a good shine. It'll probably fade by the time we put it in, no problem. All right, fans. Okay, there's the fan. Let's see what we got. Fans. Look, you've always got some part of the cord showing through, right, the front. It has to connect to the motherboard. So that's one part that I always try to get the dust off, right? Just kind of swipe it once, make sure it looks good. Same thing with these edges. Watch this. My finger's not even really wet. Look at all the dust that comes off. If you're going to show this and these fans are going to be visible, let's at least give them a decent cleaning. Get most of that dust off. And I'll do a side-by-side here in just a second with the other fan. And I mean, you can see I'm not getting deep in there right now. I'm really not. I actually like these case fans because they're so open in the back. It allows you a lot of room to get in there. So there's the back. I always do corners, side corner, side corner. Yeah, and like there's a little bit of dust in it, but nothing like it looked earlier. Like I said, they are expected. Now, remember I told you before, there's always a way to find, there's always a decent way to get some sort of treasure from PCs. Now this one only came with 3 fans. No big deal, right? 3 fans is probably enough. I might even add one more. I have found some PCs where somebody went overboard on the fans. I'm talking 3 fans up top, 3 fans down below, 3 fans up front, and like, a fan, an oversized cooler and a fan on the back. Right? That is probably just, and it wasn't even a high-end build. So in that case, I'll take some of those fans off as I'm undoing it, rebuild it with the appropriate amount of fans, and now I've got some spare fans. Yeah, you could probably find decent ones on Amazon. I think I found a 3-pack of RGB fans, white ones, that are addressable, $15-20. But I keep saying this, we're not here to spend money, we're here to make money. So I always try to, number one, see if there's anything left over that I can save for another book. And number 2, I try not to spend a whole lot on this. I'm not trying to spend money on this. I already spent enough just buying the PC. I don't want to spend more money. I want to make money. That's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to make money. So take it from me. Don't go crazy. Don't buy a used PC and then all of a sudden you're replacing it with a brand new case, brand new fans, brand new this, brand new that. You don't need to. You really don't. I mean, look at this. I bought this fan, or this case, right? This PC. He didn't clean it up at all. He still sold it to me. Maybe I'm the sucker. We'll see. Because as we flip this PC, we shall see. I'm excited about this one. I think this one can draw in a pretty good chunk. I got this one for a pretty good deal. And again, some people don't realize what they have. Now, that graphics card is not the best. But this is an AM5 chip, a Ryzen 5 7600X. That's a pretty solid chip for a mid-tier or even a low-end gaming PC. So the fact that I got it for under $600, I'm pretty happy with that. So there we go. All right, so there's the front, right? See that? Pretty decent. Sides, looking pretty crappy on this one. The back is where it really shows. And remember, when you're inside the PC, that's what you're looking at. So take a look at that. Much better, right? Absolutely much better. Big difference between this one and this one. Absolutely big difference. So yeah, perfect. All right, we got one more. I don't think I'm going to use this one. I think I've got two more. So I'm going to keep these two here in front of the PC. Put that one over there for later. All right, let's clean this bad boy up. You know what? Pretty dirty, gnarly, and it's dried out. Again, I'm trying to make this easier on you guys. You don't want to do too much work. All right, wringing that out. There's our cord, corners. You know what? I also thought of something else too while I'm cleaning this last fan. If you guys have some questions, or maybe you want to get into this yourself, drop a comment. Let me know that you're going to jump on Marketplace and you're going to do some research on some PCs in your area. All I ask, or all I would challenge you to do, is if you have a question, let me know. Hey, Glitch, I found this PC, it's available. They're asking this much, and I was just curious if it's a good buy. Like, is this a good buy for a flip? Let me know what you find. Every area is different, right? I've got a buddy that lives up in the northeast United States, and I was trying to help him get into this with me, and unfortunately he wasn't able to do it because in his area there was like no PCs available, none. It was just a very, very small market. And so number one, on top of the fact that it was a small market, that makes it hard. There's not very many PCs for sale. So the few that are for sale, right, there's not as much competition. There's not going to be a lot of, being able to negotiate. But on top of that, as you go to resell, it's the same thing. If there's not a lot for sale, that also means that there may not be a lot of people looking to buy either. So let me know what you've got, right? If you're interested in doing this in your area, I mean, I've got my marketplace. I'm in Oklahoma City. I've got it set to 30 miles wide for the range. Not very big at all. I don't want to drive forever. 15, 20 minutes is worth it, right? If I can find a good deal, but I don't want to drive hours out of town. So let me know what you find. If you've got a question on one, you want to know, maybe you're not sure how much you should spend on it, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to give you some advice. I keep a log of every PC that I do, so I can kind of give you a good indicator of exactly what that PC has, what I've purchased it for, what I've sold it for, maybe even some average of what they're going for right now. So let me know. We're almost done here. We've got a few fan blades left, and this is good. Hope this helps you guys out. I really do. I love being able to help other people out in any way I can. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a firefighter. I am not a medical responder, first responder. I absolutely appreciate everything that those individuals do. I can't. It's not me. So I want to try to give back any way that I can. If there's something I can do to help you out, I hope this can. I feel like it can. If I can do it, you can do it. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. I got started with, like I said this in my other video, but I got started with, $1,000, maybe a little over. Upset my wife a little bit. I told her that I had an idea, and I was like, just go with it. I was like, I'm not spending it, I'm borrowing it, and I'll pay the account back. So oh, look at that. That's nice. Looks much better. So much better. Yeah, so I borrowed like $1,200 from our savings account. I came home with 3 random PCs. Looked like crap. She thought I was nuts. And, that was basically it. That was several years ago that I did that. So I've been doing this for a while. I don't do many, but, it's really helped me out, bring in some of that extra. go from there. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for this video. I'm going to pause there. The PC has been disassembled. We have taken it apart. We are good to go. I'm going to end it there. And, you know, in the next video, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather up all the materials that I need. I'm going to get a couple more fans for this one and get ready to put it back together. And then I'll walk you through that, right? Walk you through the steps of putting it together, how to put all of the cables in the right spot. You want cable management to look good. Even the process, right? You usually start with the motherboard. Last thing you want to do is worrying about getting your graphics cut. No. Like, I'll walk you through the easiest way to do this. And over time, you're going to get to the point where you can put together a PC in 15 minutes. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. As always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.